Hey, this is Jim Vasilopoulos with some quick business wisdom for you. They say patience is a virtue, but there are times when you should be patient and there are times when you should be decisive. So today we're going to talk about being decisive versus being patient. And in this world where we've got so much going on, sometimes we're anxious to make decisions and make moves, but sometimes it's better to aim before you shoot. Knowing when is so important. There are times when a quick response is necessary, and there are other times when a more contemplated analytical response is more appropriate. Knowing when to use either approach is super important. So let's work through a small little framework to kind of help evaluate whether you need to be decisive or a little more patient and contemplative with your response. The first is to consider the consequences of a no decision. If the consequences of a no decision are terrible and they are really the no decision, and I mean no decision by like a non-decision, if the consequences of not making a decision are awful, then a quick response is probably more appropriate in those circumstances, because a quick response is going to be better. Even if it is imperfect, it's going to be better than waiting and guaranteeing a very terrible outcome. In the other circumstances where it's unclear as to the impact of a non-response, there are probably a couple things to consider in this process. One is to consider what information you're lacking and how that would affect your decision. And sometimes you may have, you don't understand the non-response, but you also don't think you're lacking any information. So what is holding you back? If there is some information that is holding you back to say, if I knew this, I could make a better decision and I'd be more informed, what are the odds of me getting that information and how long would it take to get that information? And if you believe there's a possibility you could obtain that, and with a reasonable amount of effort you could obtain that information accurately, then being a little more patient is appropriate in those circumstances. So I know this is an imperfect framework, but so many times people are confused, and what helps us during times of confusion is to break down problems into smaller parts. So once again, some simple steps here. Do you know the cost of a non-decision? What is the impact of a non-decision? If it is catastrophic or bad or very serious, then making a more decisive, quick decision is going to be important. If you don't know, take the time to evaluate, what information am I seeking? What additional information do I need to make that good decision and to make that more contemplative decision? And what are the odds of me being able to get access to that information in a timely and accurate manner? If you break your problem down in that manner, whether or not to be decisive or patient is a much easier decision. It's never an easy decision, but it's a much easier decision than it would be otherwise. That's all I've got for you today. Thank you.